Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. We get to reintroduce our friend. She's not the first time on this podcast. She's been on here before, and so she's had a lot going on since then, and so we're getting ready to catch up with Miss Rebecca Russell. Thanks for coming back on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you, and we've known each other for what, 15 years now, probably?
I think so.
A long time. And so you haven't aged a bit, it looks like, and we're going to find out why. And so first off, what do you love most about Johnson City? And you can't say people or mountains. So we put everybody on the spot and take the top two reasons out of the way. Because obviously the people are fantastic. The mountains are gorgeous.
Yes. I'm from a small town in Ohio, 4,500 people, a farm factory town. And this, even though it's Appalachia, it really has that small town feel. And that makes me feel even more at home.
It does feel really small. And it's still kind of big. We got a lot of stuff going on, and lots of people are moving here. And so it's exciting. I think it's a great place to move a family to, and great people like you can connect with them when they're here.
Yes.
So I don't remember. It's probably been 2 years since you've been on the podcast, maybe?
At least.
And so I think the first time we had you on, because you're a distributor of oils and essential oils, and you just know the ins and outs about all the benefits of essential oils. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, on that business that you've had?
Well, I just have always tried to find a holistic approach to health, and essential oils are an amazing tool for that. And then I believe the other reason I was on was to let Johnson City female professionals know that there's a Fem City networking mastermind group that I lead here in Johnson City.
Yes, it's all coming back to me. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm getting older. That's just what I'm excited about, to learn.
Which is still going on.
More about the. That's good. Fem City, how are you guys doing now?
We're growing. Our leadership board's growing, and it's just such a fabulous group of women. And it's so different from typical networking in that it's more about uplifting, supporting, and creating deep connection.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely need and love.
Yeah. And how do listeners learn more about that?
Just reach out to me.
Okay. And how do we get a hold of you? We'll go ahead and throw it out there now, and we'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, across social media, I'm at the Rebecca Russell, so you can find me pretty much anywhere.
The Rebecca Russell. I love it. There's only one like you, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about your background. Remind us where you grew up.
A small town in Ohio called Cary.
Okay.
And you went to the nearest bigger town for a movie or fast food, when I grew up.
Yeah.
But it's truly, it's just a pastoral, beautiful little town, and I couldn't wait to leave.
You're looking for something a little bigger?
No, not because it wasn't great. It's just I'm different, and I always have been, even as a child. And it got even more apparent the older I got, and the more opinionated I got, and had my own mind and opinions, and it just didn't seem to fit. So I needed to go, what is that, the ugly duckling story, where the little ducklings going around, are you my family? Are you my family? And you're just trying to find where you fit in. So that's what my adventure was. Where do I fit in?
And did you find it here in East Tennessee? Is that where?
I first found it in Dallas.
Okay.
Which, moving to Dallas in the mid-'70s, it was booming.
That was the oil boom stuff, right?
And I had no trouble finding a job and being single. It was beautiful people, fun wonderful things to do, country western music and all that. So it was a wonderful experience, and then end up getting married and raising our family there over 30 years. But we've been here for about 14.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's when we met.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So how did you, I guess, did you have a background where your parents kind of like super healthy people? I mean, did they like, or how did your journey get you to where you are today, where you're being very holistic, very health minded, and just learning? Yeah. Tell us about your journey there.
Well, remember I said I'm different? So
I think we're
no.
all a little different.
Well, um,
You're a little different than your family, you were
yes.
saying. You were
Uh,
thinking different early.
they no health consciousness there.
Okay.
Uh, a lot of addictive behaviors. Uh, you know, food, sitting, smoking, and on one side, drinking was an issue.
Mm,
Fortunately, I did not get that gene, thank God. But it's hard to watch, and just a I wasn't read to as a child, but I ended up being a ferocious reader and then a writer, which is sort of odd how that happened. And I had a very intense desire to travel, which no one in my family cared about. And so, yeah, it just a learner, born a learner and born an old soul.
mhm.
And they didn't quite know what to do with me. But they loved me, they did their best, and, till I got older, I didn't realize that knowing you are loved is not a given. I didn't understand that.
Mm,
I focused on, I'm not understood, I'm not accepted as I am, instead of focusing on, I knew without a doubt I was loved,
mm.
and how important the stability and a, secure home and parents who loved each other. I took all that for granted.
Oh, wow.
So when I left and was my little bubble and was around people first in Columbus and then Dallas, two bigger cities, and I actually met people who did not have those, and it really changed my perspective.
Mm, yeah. Sounds like you're waking up a little
Oh
bit.
yeah,
Um, that's yeah, I think it's interesting. Everybody's background and then your journey. And we never stop developing, growing, learning, maturing,
no,
figuring ourselves out a little bit more. And we're, and it's just yeah, I think that's why you have a lifetime to do it, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this new book. You have written a book. Congratulations. Is this your first book you've ever written?
It's my first standalone
Oh, that's
nonfiction.
right. Because you have written lots of books. It's all coming back. Yes.
Well, a lifetime ago, I sold two sweet romances to Harlequin Silhouette.
Nice.
And then about 4 years ago, I was one of 20 authors in a book called Uncover Your Light, Volume 2.
Mm.
And those were stories of hope and resilience that are written by women for women. And it was an interesting experience because I, again, was an outlier in that many of the authors, incredible stories and amazing women, had such big traumas to overcome. And here I come from this happy days kind of family life. And not that I've never had, troubles or problems, but compared to a lot of what these other women had gone through, mine were nothing.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't real sure I belonged there. And the lead author said, no, what you want to bring, which was more or less, I wanted to share a formula and resources that I'd come up with about how to find your purpose, which helps you be resilient and so forth. So even though math is not my thing, it was only 2,500 words. And now for a non writer, that seems like a lot. But for me, it was torture I had so much to say and such a big message that is really what prompted me to write this book.
Okay.
Because after that experience, and I think I did a good job, but and the lady said, your chapter is going to be that pause, that breath after some of the more serious ones, heavy ones. And we need those breaks.
Mm.
And then also the references and the resources you share could help people. So, but after that experience, I just thought I need all the words. I have too much to
I
share.
got to get them out.
I did. So it wasn't like I always thought I would write a nonfiction book on my own. Didn't think I'd write the chapter in the other one. Didn't think I'd write the romance. It was never in my plan. It was all a God thing, every single one.
What was the response to that chapter in the book?
I think, a lot of people, they're trying to unknowingly take shortcuts to get unstuck. And my formula was basically, because I only had a few words, so I had to really, boil it down, was you first need self-awareness. You need to know who you are, what you need to be happy and feel fulfilled.
Mm.
Then that can hopefully move into self-acceptance so that you understand your strengths and value, which would then hopefully lead to self-love. If you skip any of those steps, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
Now, it won't mean you can't be successful. And I'm not a doctor or a therapist. This is just my wisdom of
Interpretation. Yeah.
60 some years.
There
But
you go.
yeah, that you can't skip those steps. And a lot of overachievers are going to go by those things. And they're going to want to just keep moving, and grind it out, white knuckle it, and until it just doesn't work anymore. So that was, and then once you have those three things set, you can then look outside yourself to see how you can serve the world.
That's a lot. Yeah. And so
In
did you
2,500 words.
and then so did you go, okay, I've said what I needed to say, but I've got a lot more than so but I'm moving on. I'm putting this chapter to bed. I'm turning it into the editor and moving on. And then did you go immediately into production of this book, like started to write this book, or has this like did you kind of let it stew for a year or two and then like pour yourself into this book? Take me through that process.
Well, my piece obviously focused on emotional wellness with the resilience and the hope and so forth. And I know from my journey to wellness, it's all about your whole being. And so there's physical wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, and three others, in my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was basically, yeah, it just came pretty formed because it was knowledge I'd acquired all those years. And it was not a matter of what do I say, because I already knew the material.
Right.
It was how do I lay it out? What's the format? Those were the things that took more time, not so much what should I write about.
Okay. Because you have it all in there.
Yeah, just never had the idea or didn't even think about that outlet.
What would you say to somebody who is like, man, I've got stuff to say. I want to put it in a book. What would you tell them?
Well, if you've never written before, it could seem very overwhelming. So I would suggest to start blogging
Okay.
because those can be as long or short as you want. And there's just no pressure there. So that would be, or YouTube videos or whatever your
Your medium is
format
to get
is.
rid
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. You're just kind of letting whatever's in you out, right?
Right.
And then you can format it and redo it and turn it into a book or just use it as whatever.
Yeah,
Putting it out
because that's what a lot of people do is they'll blog and then they have all this material and then they'll just consolidate it into a book.
there. Gotcha.
And what I'm going to be doing starting this weekend, hopefully, is I'm going to take the material from this book and create YouTube videos where I will just read a couple of sentences from the book and then just riff because I know it. And those will be just videos that are if you're not a reader, then this might be an easy way to get that same information.
Gotcha. Yeah. Because some people aren't readers or don't have time. Or,
Right.
I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff just driving down the road on a podcast like this or YouTube video just playing in the background. And yeah, so I think that's a great way to get it out. All right, let's jump into the book.
All
The
right.
Art of Aging Well. Tell me about the cover. What's that beautiful flower?
Oh, this is a wellness mosaic and a
Pretty.
local artist, Leslie Campbell.
Okay.
She helped me design it along with her graphic designer. Uh, and it just came to, we just spent a lot of time brainstorming and uh, just, I had specific things that colors and so forth, but they took the mandala idea and just ran with it. And I think it turned out just beautifully.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's pretty. And
Yeah,
then the color's kind of I'm looking at it right. The whole thing's a little light purple. Is that right?
it is. Yeah.
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 What drew you to that color?
It's not me
It's the Lord.
because that's not my strength is the design
Uh-huh.
or anything like that. My only creative strength is writing, not anything visual.
Gotcha.
And but no, it took a village to make this cover come about.
Isn't that cool?
It's people from Fem City helped me. They
Yeah.
saw the original concept and said, "Well, what if you did this for the background?" And originally I had a white background. They said, "Why don't you do a color and texturize it?" So it truly took a village.
That's cool. It's good to have good friends that help you.
Yep.
And yeah. And then all right, you poured all this out. Do you just send it to an editor? I mean, is that part of the process or do you kind of like
Well, I wanted to
or did
use
you
local
self
people.
Okay, so yeah.
And I, being my age at 68, I did not want to go through the long process of trying to find an agent or publishing house. I just,
Self
that's a young person's game. I think I'd done that before and it's very tiring.
Okay.
And I didn't want to wait. So I did self publish and found a local editor, a local publisher, and we made it happen.
That's awesome. Okay. So when you say aging well, what does that actually mean to you?
Well, there's a difference between your lifespan and health span. So your lifespan is basically your age.
How many
Your
your days we're on the planet?
Yeah, how many years old. And then which you can call aging.
Mhm.
And then your health span is what is your level of health at that age.
Okay.
So you don't want to just grow old. You don't want to live to 98 or 100 if you're not healthy. That's miserable.
Right.
So the whole thing is to have both happen.
So you'd always want a lower health age, I'm assuming, than your actual age. Is that what you're saying? Like you want to
Your metabolic age you want. So for
what's
instance,
yeah,
my
what's
metabolic age is 64 and I'm 68
so you're 40.
despite my bad genes. So and I want it lower.
Yeah.
So that spurs me on to do better more than the weight. I want to be healthy inside.
Gotcha.
That's your cell health.
Okay, let's go deep into the cell health. How do you get healthy inside?
Well, there's no magic pill.
No magic pill. Okay, so it's a
I'm
combination of
sorry to
stuff.
say.
Right.
And if you do think you've found one, there is always a price to magic. And so just be aware of that. And that's why I prefer the natural approach. So that,
So you're saying pharma potentially is what I'm kind of hearing you allude to, has some side effects like the commercials.
yes,
Like you
yes.
might be able to see great, but your arm will fall off.
Right.
Right. And so there's side effects. And so, which, where are your lines? Yeah. So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so trying to stay off of that as much as possible. Right.
Yes, because actually someone I know who used to work at a assisted living facility,
Mhm.
she said that the older residents who reached 90 to 100 that still had that quality of life were on either only 1 or 0 medications. Because medications have chemicals. They just do.
Yeah, that's all they are.
Yeah. So chemicals are what damage your cells. So some people have been on sleep medications for a lifetime, uh, depression, anti-anxiety medications for most of their life, stuff for their digestive system they've been on. And these all add up. And even though the human body is designed naturally to detox things, it's too inundated between the chemicals in the air, the water, and then all the chemicals we ingest or put on our bodies.
We're inundated.
It's too much.
Right. And so we've got to block them out and
So
cleanse our bodies.
just plain whack-a-mole and treating the acid reflux and the depression, you're not getting to the root cause. And that's what the holistic approach is to treat the entire body.
Yeah. Let's talk more about that. So, we're not wanting to take any medications. What are some other good?
If you can,
if you can.
sometimes we need doctors. We need
100%.
some medications.
Yeah.
But
sometimes
it shouldn't be your first
go-to
thing to, yeah.
So, yeah, walk us through, I guess, how you do that on a daily basis. So, like, you're trying to protect your body from chemicals.
Well, you mentioned allergies earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
I have them year-round. So, in the past, I was on Sudafed twice a day. I also had migraines.
Yeah, because of the Sudafed.
And they said, get off the Sudafed. Well, how do I breathe? I don't know, but get off the Sudafed. And so I was on this hamster wheel of I couldn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever had migraines, but they are horrible.
Horrific. Yeah.
And so I couldn't get help anywhere else. And I went to a doctor of Oriental medicine. She did a non-invasive muscle testing type treatment. And I have not taken a decongestant since then. And it's been 35 years or so. So I use natural alternatives.
Okay.
Essential oils and other supplements that help minimize those symptoms. But believe it or not, the main thing you need to do, and no one wants to hear this, is a healthy gut. And that will solve probably 80% or more of your health issues.
We hear about gut health, leaky gut, probiotics. You got to take all the stuff. You got to eat all the fermented foods, all that stuff. And we're big fans of kombucha and that kind of stuff at home. And Carly, she's always eating something fermented, and she's working on her gut health. What are some tips for listeners about having a healthy gut? Because it's really key in aging, right?
Is.
I mean, if your gut's not good, it's all kind of.
And I do a lot of wellness consultations for people, and some are 30-some years old, already on 2 or 3 medications for digestive issues, and they don't feel good, but they don't know what else to do. And I just have to be real with them and just say, do you understand that if you do not figure out some other option, this isn't going away and it's not going to get better. So let's try, if you're open, let's try and figure out an actual solution, get to the root cause of this.
And how do you get tested for gut health and that kind of stuff? What do you like to see about figuring out what's wrong with you, right? Because somebody, I feel bad all the time. You just hear people, I'm tired all the time, or I have headaches, or where's step one for the person listening right now who's like, you know what? I've been on medications for a long time. I feel yucky. I don't feel good. I don't have energy. I want to be vibrant and full of life. I want to age well.
Yeah.
What would you say? What's step one for them?
Well, there's 2 different things they can do if they want to work with me. We can just do a free wellness consult where I just run through your top 3 health concerns. And a lot of times, these overachievers, they just want to go right to one thing.
Let's get it fixed.
I can't sleep. What do you have for that? Go, okay, well, let's just slow down. A lot of people I talk to also have issues with stress. Do you have stress? Oh, yeah. Do you have any kind of allergies? Oh, yeah. Do you have any kind of, hormonal issues? No. And I said, well, then the other one is pain. No, I'm good there. What about digestion? Oh my gosh, I've had digestive issues since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And so as we kept talking, there was like a light bulb that went off, and he goes, if I could get my digestive issues solved, I could probably sleep. So that's why I don't send people to my website. I want to talk to them and talk through what is going on to get to that root cause. And if they aren't open to that, we're probably not a good fit because I don't just push product.
Right.
And the other thing is I do Zyto health scans, and it's an FDA approved modality.
Okay.
And it takes 6 minutes, and it's the coolest thing ever. And it gives me reports that show the gastrointestinal system and what is stressing it,
Wow.
along with your immune system, your hormonal endocrine system, and your detoxification system, and so much more. But since we're talking about gut health, it will show. It's so cool to have this device because I can talk to you all day about how being dehydrated is bad for you, that you need to drink more water.
Doing it right now.
But if you have this report and it's showing level red, which is not good, and the hydration is popping up in your kidneys, urinary tract, all those things, I don't really have to nag. It's scarier to see that report.
Sure. You're like, oh, I'm out of whack.
And how it's affecting the different bodies systems.
And what you call it, a Zyto scan?
Zyto scan.
Zyto scan. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We'll have to do it.
Let's do it. I'm excited. We should. You should have.
I should have brought it.
You should have brought it, or we can do. We can go on the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do the Zyto scan. Let's say I'm not sleeping great. I've got some. We'll just do me. I think I sleep okay. My wife says I snore. So, and then my right hip has been hurting lately. And then so I'm like, all right, how do I get better? And a lot of this is probably not just like what I eat, it's also my lifestyle, right? And
Yes.
so I'm sure that's part of your diagnosis too. So
Well, that scan shows where inflammation
okay.
is showing up.
Yeah.
So that's going to show up. It's also going to show. One of the things I ask about sleep is you may get enough sleep, but is it quality sleep?
Gotcha.
So there's a difference because I, at one point before I found the oils, was on a sleep medication and trying all different ones because nothing worked. Ambien, it did help me go to sleep, but I woke up tired. I couldn't wait to go take a nap. That's not that's not a good sign.
No.
And people have been on that for years, and it's not supposed to be a long-term solution.
Right.
And so there's a lot of side effects to that. But anyway, so the other thing is the scan would show you stress is a huge piece of why you're not sleeping well.
Okay.
And you may not consciously know that you're stressed. But if I see cortisol high, if I see hydration low, it literally maps it out.
That's pretty cool.
And it also tells you what emotions are stuck.
Oh, wow.
So you could be carrying in your hip or back or heart something that needs to be dealt with, not denied, not smothered, because there's emotions aren't good or bad.
They just aren't.
But you need to release it.
Okay.
So that's another cool thing about the scan.
That's crazy. And I think a lot of people, you say stress. A lot of people, I don't know, and I heard this probably somewhere, but it's just kind of a catch-all term. Like, I'm stressed. Well,
Mhm.
tell me more about that. What are you, well, I'm working too much, or I've got my, three little ones I'm living, working to take care of at home. And, I've also got a job, and, there's a lot that we pile on ourselves. And I think we just blanket call it stressed and not deal with it. Do you help kind of help your patient client dive into that and figure out where that stress point really is?
Well, I was just on another podcast recently, and I sort of let it out that I said I'm known as the queen of homework. So typically, like the things you're asking me, just
Mm.
anyone I meet on the street that talks or at a coffee shop, they'll ask me questions. And I can almost always think of a resource to give someone.
Oh, cool.
So there's a book called The Upside of Stress, and it flips stress on its head. We have been trained to think of it as a negative.
Yeah. No, I think it gets me going.
And when you get to the bottom of where that came from, the research, who started it and why they thought that way and pushed the agenda, and you just find out how it can be used in a positive way, it's very interesting. And so that's a book I highly recommend is The Upside
So,
of Stress.
huh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get back to your book on aging well. So, you're looking at the whole body. You're wanting to be as holistic as possible. And so, take us through, like, what are some of the chapters in there that, I mean, like, what's the reader going to go through as they read this book? Is it like a manual, or is it more of a, I mean, like, it's going to teach me when I read this thing how to just be a better human, it sounds like.
Well, it's more like a wellness guide.
Okay.
So the subtitle is Hope and Health Beyond Your Genetics.
Okay.
So another reason why this was so on my heart to share is my genetics want me to be a diabetic. It's in my family.
Right.
And by all, if we truly, if it was a fact that genetics determine everything, I would be a diabetic. But somehow I figured out slugging and just working my way through to try, because I'm a learner and I'm tenacious. I figured out metabolic health along on my own before that became a buzzword. And so it, I've proven that genetics are only like 10% of the equation. Now that's a fact, and people are saying it all the time, but that's something I learned myself, that lifestyle is even more important.
So you can beat your genetic
Yes, and I have.
predisposition for diabetes because you're not a diabetic.
I'm not even pre-diabetic now, which I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Now I can go back there easily if I get lazy,
Gotcha.
but I know what to do to get out of that hole. And the older I get, the more I'm better at not getting in that hole. But
Mhm.
sometimes things happen. And, uh, but the doctor at that time told me I was going to die a diabetic.
You're
Did
like,
not leave
thanks,
me
doc.
any hope,
Right.
nothing. Didn't ask, are you willing to make changes? Now, of course, back then it wasn't believed that you could, but I didn't believe that. And I know myself because of self awareness. And so I refused to take the medication for a statin. I'm not telling anyone else to do that.
Sure.
I'm just saying that was my choice because I looked at the history, the pattern in my family and how they followed the rules and their quality of life wasn't great.
Yeah.
And especially the last 10 years of their life. My aunt died at 60, my mom at 69, and it just, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to have that,
Right.
but that was what I saw. And so I just was determined
Hmm.
to find another way.
That's tough.
And so the kicker of that is with the doctor of holistic medicine that I went to and showed her my labs, she said, the reason your cholesterol is high is your thyroid is off, which was very interesting because the family doctor, the endocrinologist, did not pick up on that. So she, through trial and error with different quality supplements, got my thyroid balanced, and the cholesterol was not an issue. So that's another like big aha moment of if you don't just be, a sheep and just think
Follow what they tell you.
and think the doctor knows everything. And B, that if I had just taken the statin as directed, this thyroid issue would have stayed there and probably gotten worse. And then all these other weird symptoms would be popping up. And then you have side effects from the statin typically. So you've got all these things going on underneath that would have gone undetected and been a mess, all because they didn't get to the root cause.
They didn't catch the thyroid.
So I became a huge proponent of root cause.
I feel like, I mean, my dad taught at the med school for a long time, and I feel like the doctors now, like I talk to a lot of physicians, and I think they are working on that mode. I think they want to get there, but a lot of it has been training to just prescribe and take care of that thing, and we'll get through it because they've learned that a lot of people don't want to change their lifestyle.
Right.
I like eating Cheetos. I'm going to eat Cheetos and drink a Coke every day, and it's going to mess up my body, but I'm okay. And
Hmm.
if I take this, I can still do that. That's
Right.
easier. It's a whole lot easier than opposed to not eating Cheetos, grabbing some healthy food, getting up, walking, exercising, doing all the things that you need to do, hydrating like crazy, right?
And this book won't be for them. But
I
it's
think
sort of like I tell people, if you grew up with, like, I'm from a small town and there's the favored
same.
car shop.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone goes there.
Yeah.
They're your guy. And so you grow up, you have a car and a family, he's your car guy. But you get a diesel truck and you take it there when you have a problem and they're like, "Sorry, I don't work on diesel."
Right.
"But you're my car guy." "Sorry, I just don't do it." So you leave and then you're like, "But I don't trust anyone else."
Right.
So you keep going back, asking, begging for them to help you.
Right.
And if they're honest, they'll just keep saying no. And that's what the people I come into contact with are trying so hard to get help, but they're asking the wrong person. Because, like you said, the doctors have been trained to treat symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
They are not trained to prevent or reverse. So you can't get mad at them or expect them to go above and beyond what they've already probably gone in debt for and trained for. You can't get mad at them. They're doing what they know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take responsibility if you want a different outcome
Mm-hmm.
to look for that natural path, that holistic person, or even someone like me who's not a doctor or anything, but I can sort of maybe give you direction.
Yeah. We just had a guy on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he's acupuncturist. He's like studied, you know, Eastern medicine for years and years and years, and so I think it's interesting that we keep coming back to that, right? And why do you feel like that is? Is that because it works over and over and over? How long has the American medicine been going, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a couple hundred years, and the other thing is this other one's been for thousands of years, right? And
Right.
so you're tapping into that, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Because one of the reports in that Zytoscan is about the meridians, which is all about the
Different energy. Yeah.
acupuncture and those kind of things.
Yeah. I mean, our bodies are amazing creations by the Lord. And I feel like He's given us the ability to learn all about them and to heal. And I mean, they heal themselves, right? I
Yes.
mean, we are miraculous creatures, but we have to have the right supplements. We have to have the right
Yeah.
oils. We have to have the right mobility. Sometimes it's just even stretching and you pop something back into place and you're in alignment and you feel great. My buddy Richard Ballard is a great chiropractor. He puts you back in alignment. There are things that we need help with. And so I think this is exciting for this book.
Well, and that's what I tried to think of, head to toe. What people I had to stop at some point. I can't cover every single thing. And I purposely didn't do footnotes or anything like that because this is not for a doctor or someone who's advanced. This is more for that person who is curious
Mm-hmm.
or they're sick and tired of being sick and tired and going to that wrong mechanic. And, they're open now to
Right.
think of a different way. And so they're short chapters. There's a journaling option at the end of each section so that you can put into action what you're learning. That's very important.
Yeah.
It's not knowledge isn't power if you don't put it into action.
Right.
And I just think I wanted to make it a little fun. And at the wellness mosaic is sort of a lighthearted kind of approach. And then just give hope to
Mm.
people.
Yeah.
But one of the two big chapters in here, one is on longevity, and epigenetics, which we talked about with the genes, and giving people hope that just because dad had heart disease, mom had, diabetes, that doesn't mean you're automatically there.
Right.
And the other thing is there's a chapter on being your own health advocate.
Sure.
And that is huge because I was very blessed that when I had health issues, I had a supportive husband and family. I had good insurance through my husband. And I had my love of learning, and I'm not afraid of research and tenacity. If other people don't have that, they don't want to learn. They don't, it's just not their strength. Or they don't have support, or they don't have the money or the good insurance. Any of those factors make it even harder. So I'm hoping this book is going to sort of fill that a little bit and also encourage them to find someone. If they don't like to research things, call me or someone else that will.
Yeah.
If they can't process things quickly, which I don't, that doesn't mean I'm dumb. It just takes me longer to process things. I take a lot of notes.
Sure.
If that's too hard for you during an appointment, have someone come with you
Mm-hmm.
or record on your phone. But you have to take ownership of your own health
Yeah.
and ask for that help from somebody.
Right.
Don't just nod and just agree. And I can't tell you how many times someone has told me, I don't even know what I was told. They just shoved the medicine at me and now I feel worse and I don't know what to do. Well, I sympathize and I empathize because things can be scary.
Sure. And like if I
And
get off of it too, what happens, right? I mean, yeah,
yes, yes.
it's scary. Our bodies, and I think we know in our core at times, like, is this really the best thing for me or not? And
I bring that up too
yeah,
about listening to your body.
yeah,
There's a belief that we all have an inner physician in ourselves. And that has come to help me several times in my life. And I mean life-saving things where I was given a prescription and I took it for a while. They wanted to refill it and I'm going, how do we know this is working? And they didn't. So I insisted on a test and it wasn't. So if I hadn't listened to that gut instinct, that voice that said, you better double check on this, then I would have been on medication that wasn't doing anything.
and you could still
And
be
in
on
the
it today.
meantime,
Yeah,
could have had serious consequences.
sure,
So
lots of side effects.
don't ignore that little voice.
I think that's the Holy Spirit a lot of times. It's
Yeah.
talking to you, for sure. Um, why do we feel worse as we get older? Like if it just feels like that, right? And you hear people, "Oh, I'm getting old. I'm sore all the time." What's the situation? Is that just a misnomer? People just say it because they feel
Well, think about all the commercials that are telling us.
that's true. We're being programmed, right?
We're being programmed to think negatively about aging.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have people in their 40s come to me that have been to a doctor for arthritis, and the doctor said, it's just getting older. and I want to like jump out of my
You're
seat.
like 40.
And I had to where at one point in my 40s, I couldn't make a fist because of my gut health and other lifestyle
Yeah.
things. I'm fine now. I play pickleball really well most days.
Oh,
So, it's not irreversible,
right.
but it takes work
Sure.
and energy
Yeah.
to reverse that. And but when I hear that they're just everything is blamed on age. And that just is not true. It's a myth, and a lot of it starts up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you feel your time is done, that you've done all you can do, why wouldn't you think every little ache and pain was the end?
And you see people, I mean, they shut it down and they are no longer alive
Mhm.
anymore. You know, it's amazing the power of your mind on your belief, you know?
But I'll tell you what, pickleball is I fought playing it because to me, I used to be quite a jock in the racquetball court,
Okay.
and I played ice hockey in my 50s with my
Oh,
husband on a rec
so
league.
pickleball is like right up your alley.
So well, but the ego was saying it's for old
Old people,
people
right.
and it's not competitive and why bother kind of thing. And but it I had been inactive for so long for various reasons that I was sort of sick of it. And it was like, okay, I'm going to just go and see what it's about.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, did you ever see the movie Cocoon? I mean, it
Long
would have been a
time.
long time
Yeah.
ago. But there's a scene in there where the old people, I can't even remember what the whole premise was, but they end up either being taken by aliens or something. And they jump in a pool and they're like teenagers again. And they're walking different, they're smiling more. I mean, they're like just rejuvenated.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when I go to that to play pickleball, I'm one of the younger ones there at 68. And these people walk in with braces on their legs and arms and hunched over, and they no more look like they can play. And you get them on that court, and they are competitive. They're whooping me. They are just so inspiring. And not only, I mean, it's like their posture changes, their energy changes. And I don't think it's just physical. I think it's the social
Mm.
aspect as well, which is covered in here as well,
Yep.
how important social wellness is. And it's really inspired me. And I told one lady the other day, I want to be you when I grow up
Mm.
because she's probably 15, 20 years older than me. And when I feel like I should work instead, or I'm just I'm too tired, I'll think, well, she's going to be there and she's had a hip replacement and a knee replacement. And if she can be there, I can be there. So they inspire me for many reasons.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. How do people find your book?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
And if you're local, you can reach out to me. I'll sign the copy for you. And also, if you do buy it from Amazon and you're out of state or you're here, but your mom in Georgia, whatever, wants a copy, I have stickers that if you let me know you purchased something, a book, I will sign it and mail it to the person you want it so
Oh,
that
that's
they
cool.
can
Yeah.
have a signed copy.
Okay. And remind us how we can reach out to you for Zyto scans as well. And like, just getting in touch with you. What's the best way for that?
My website is RebeccaRussell.com.
Okay.
And then the Rebecca Russell, I'm mostly on Facebook,
Okay.
but, and I also have a Substack blog.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Substack's taken off.
it is.
It is. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast again. Thanks for writing a book and putting it all out there to help people. I think you didn't write that just for yourself because
No.
you love people and you want them to age well and to be healthy and strong and happy and full of joy.
What's the book I wished I'd had 30 years ago?
Yeah.
It would have made things a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, I hope that tons of
So,
people find it and put it into practice. And yeah, and then if they get stuck, they can call you and you
absolutely.
can help them right through the rest of the process. So It's always good to see you. Thanks for coming back on, and I'm excited to see what you do in the future. Maybe we'll have another book coming out.
Well, you never know.
You never know, and maybe Carly and I'll come do a Zyto scan.
Okay. We'll do
Figure
it.
out our gut health and all that. And thank you guys for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being just awesome listeners of the podcast. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out. Check out the show notes. There's going to be a link to the book where you can buy it on Amazon. You can reach out to Rebecca and just subscribe. Share this with somebody. I'm sure her book is amazing. So I'm going to read it, and hopefully you'll share it with other people so they can too. Thanks so much and have a great day.